Hello and welcome to From Dreams to Reality, a business tale podcast and interview series. I am your host, Jerry Cavella, and today I am joined by the amazing John Mazurie, owner and president of Heightened Hospitality, and it's headquartered right in Atlantic City, New Jersey. Hey, John, welcome today, and thank you for being a part of this series. I am absolutely intrigued with what you're doing, and I'm sure our viewers will also be intrigued. So, how about you take a few seconds, a minute or so, and kick off the conversation by telling us a little bit more about you and your business?
Thanks, Jerry. Thank you very much for having me. It's quite a pleasure to be here. So my main company is Heightened Hospitality. It's a short-term rental management company based in Atlantic City, but serving the Jersey Shore, South Jersey, and beyond so far. But yeah, I'm a real estate entrepreneur, born and raised down here at the shore, and kind of get into anything real estate related. Decided that I wanted to be an entrepreneur from a pretty early age. Super excited for this interview and see where we're going.
Thanks, John. So I have to ask, how old are you? How long have you been in the business?
I just turned 26 about a week and a half ago. I've been in real estate since I was 19. So during college,
Fantastic.
got licensed. Yeah.
Yeah. So I know we spent a little time before the interview today to just chat and hear a little bit more about what you do. And you've got a great story to tell. And the series is all about understanding the mindset of entrepreneurs. And my gosh, you represent that really well. So let's go back to the initial start of this. What inspired you to start your own business? And what was that initial spark that led you to take that entrepreneurial leap?
Yeah. So, I mean, going all the way back to like, I had my first job at like 11. So I got quite accustomed to making money for myself at a very early age compared to most people. And it kind of just snowballed from there. So I've always been a very hard worker, always has a great work ethic. And it started to manifest itself in real estate when we were on a family vacation when I was 19 and we were in Florida. And our real estate agent down there, we were looking for investment properties, or one property in particular for my parents to eventually retire to, rent out, make some money on. And our agent down there said, John, you're pretty good at looking at the numbers, picking out good properties, et cetera. She said, at the time it was a harmless comment, but she said, maybe you should think about getting into real estate. And sure enough, I came home from vacation. The next week I enrolled in the real estate courses, and here we are, 7 years later. So
Yeah, yeah. And again, a great story, but you also talked about some early challenges, right? So could you share one or two of those original challenges that you faced in the real estate business, in the real estate market, and how did you overcome them?
yeah, there was I really didn't know what I was doing when I first got in. I honestly did it on a whim. Yeah, no plan. I just knew I wanted to give it a shot. Someone said I was good at potentially doing it, so I did. But early on, I had no plan. I had no structure. I was spending a lot of money on like advertising and like marketing materials and things that really didn't matter at the time, and just ended up losing a lot of money and not getting very far in the process. So I very quickly stopped the bleeding, stopped spending money on things that were not getting me anywhere, cut expenses in what I was at the beginning. I was just doing like residential real estate in the traditional sense, and in sales, and found a good mentor, found a good company to work with, and really was mentored and taught the sales process, how to be a good salesman, how to be a good a real estate advocate, real estate advisor, really getting to know the market, getting to know the business and the craft of real estate and the craft of being a salesman. So that's what shaped me early on. And then not too far into my real estate journey is when COVID started. So I was just finally getting my footing, year and a half into the business. And then COVID came in and kind of cut everyone off at the knees, so to speak, in the beginning. But ended up being a great opportunity because I was able to get into more of the business leadership side of real estate. So I was working in a real estate franchise as a sales manager, was recruiting, doing the growth operations, really learning how to build and run a business more so than just being a salesperson. So that was a great, COVID was a tragedy to my business and to a lot of people in the world. but it ended up being a great opportunity because A, obviously everyone knows what happened to the market shortly after the onset of COVID, and B, because it got me into leadership and learning more of the management side of the business.
Yeah, and what really strikes me about your story is when it's real estate, anything to do with real estate, you're involved. So let's do this. Share a little insight on all the elements of real estate that you're involved in, because I think this really sets you apart
Yeah.
from the others in that business. Mhm.
So now I'm involved in a number of different things. I think I've technically 6 or 7 different businesses that I'm, directly operating now. So my main business is Heightened Hospitality, as we said. So that is a property management company. We focus on short-term rentals, so Airbnbs, VRBO type properties, vacation rentals. That started also by accident. I had a house that had an in-law suite that I was living in around the same time, and I was renting out the in-law suite on Airbnb and was making a silly amount of money for the like by comparison of the square footage of it compared to the whole property. I was making a good amount of money off of it. I was living for free, being quite happy with that. And then I started buying more properties to rent out. And what ended up happening is I sold the house I was living in originally, and the new owner asked me if I would manage the Airbnb side of it for him, and that's how my managing company got started. So also by accident, I had no intention of starting a managing company or really doing anything beyond having a couple places for myself to make some passive side money on. But it ended up turning into a massive business. Through my network and referrals and people that know I was doing it, people started coming to me and asking me to manage the properties, and that's how that grew to become now my main business. Off of that, have offshot a number of other things. I now am a partner and the managing company for a boutique hotel in Ventnor called the Surrey Beach House. That's a great story too. I'll share that in a minute. But we also have a laundromat, commercial real estate broker now. So I focus on commercial properties like retail, office, investments, anything like that in South Jersey and Philly areas. With Wolf Commercial Real Estate based out of Marlton, and sort of the laundromat. I do real estate consulting as well, and then kind of anything development, renovations, construction, things like that. I'm involved with a number of other parties as well. So I think that's it.
Yeah, what really resonates with me in your story is the ability to collaborate and build strategic partnerships. So let's kind of go in that direction a little bit. So obviously, a successful business utilizes partnerships as part of the team effort. What are your thoughts on team building and finding both the right people to work with in-house, but also the right people to work with across the community as
Yeah,
strategic partners?
yeah. There's two good sayings that I've lived my life and built my businesses on. One, like your network is your net worth, right? The people you know are going to help you build your net worth, and also, the smartest people are the ones who surround the people smarter than them. I don't know everything. No one knows everything out there, but I surround myself with people who know more about things that I want to know about. So if I don't know, if I'm not an expert in a certain topic, I'm going to find someone who is and work with them and collaborate and achieve a mutually, beneficial outcome. But that's how everything happens. Like I'm self-proclaimed. I'm not an advertiser. I'm not a marketer. I'm not a very outward person in that sense. But I'm very outgoing. I do like to network and build relationships. And that's where all my business and all my opportunities have come from, is through the connections that I've made and through the teams that I've built and the people I've worked with in the past have connected me to other opportunities. So everything has grown pretty much from referrals and word of mouth. So having a core team and a strong network of people around you is by far the most important thing that I can think of.
Yeah, and that's the cornerstone of your business, the way you operate things. And makes perfect sense. One thing that I wonder about is work-life balance. I'm a big advocate. You've got your hands into so many things. How do you maintain work-life balance as a business owner? Do you have any personal rituals or habits that keep you motivated and focused?
I am very adamant about keeping, personal time for myself. I have to have some time to relax, unwind. So like I've kind of, I built my house to be like my sanctuary where I, retreat to. It's very peaceful. It's relaxing, where I can, kind of unplug from the rest of it. And it also goes back to building a team. So now I'm at the point where the business are growing enough where I'm able to start adding, some critical staff and team members to work with me. So delegating, knowing when to delegate and knowing when to step aside and start adding leverage to your company is key to achieving that balance, and then training them very well as well, so that you can start trusting those staff members to run components of your business when you as the business owner are trying to relax in the line. Because if not, you're going to burn yourself out. And I trust me, I've been there before. I used to do everything I could, myself, and that it leads to burnout very fast.
Yeah, yeah, and we all experience that at some time, and the ability to take a step back, see the model in a little different way to make sure that we're maintaining that balance between work and life is essential. So what you just said resonates with me for sure, my friend. You had previously mentioned that you had some good mentors along the way. So who influenced your entrepreneurial journey, and how have they contributed to your growth?
There's a number of them along the way. I mean, I can't ignore my family, my parents and grandparents, first and foremost, of instilling, the values that I try to lead and live by, first of all. So going back to a good family is, number one, what I attribute that to. But I've had a number of, every time I've looked to work with someone, I look to see, like I said, I look to see what I can learn from them, and then try and find someone who is more knowledgeable about a certain subject than I am. So my first real estate mentor was Jeff Quinton. He's still was and still is one of the largest real estate agents, residential agents in South Jersey. He's based in Ocean City. He was the first. He's the one who really honed in my sales skills in real estate. Outside of real estate, actually, go back before that. I worked in restaurants when I was in college. I was a bartender, waiter, and ended up being a manager of a little fine dining restaurant. So the owner of the restaurant, Domenico, was kind of the first person who gave me a management opportunity, and saw the leadership potential when I was, a freshman in college. He trusted me with his 4 restaurants at the time. And even years later, even after I was out of college, he was still calling and asking for, for help, or if we wanted to come visit and things like that. So he was fantastic. He saw the potential in me as a leader in his own businesses at the time. So yeah, Domenico, Jeff. When I went and worked in Vineland, the broker and the owner out there, his name's Nick Barrera. He was fantastic. Again, took a huge leap of faith into a young entrepreneur to come be a sales manager and team leader of his office. Taught me a lot of things. I've learned a lot of hard lessons out there. Recruiting is not an easy job, in real estate in particular. So I learned a lot of lessons out there, grew a lot from there. One of my current partners, his name is Jim. They own the hotel with, and I manage a couple of their Airbnbs. He's been, a fantastic mentor in the real estate investment and development side of things. And again, as a business owner himself. So, and there's plenty more people, connected to me that I've learned and grown so much with.
Fantastic. It sounds like you've had some great coaches along the way.
Yeah.
I do know Nick, and he resonates positivity and commitment like no one else. So
Yeah,
I'm
it's a great man.
sure he impacted your life and your business in a positive way. How about you're into so many things? What else could you be doing? So what's the future look like for John, and where do you go from here?
I mean, continuing down the growth path that I'm on, I just launched and formed another property management company. This one to be focused on long-term rentals. So I'm taking the expertise that I know from every other aspect of real estate and gonna apply it to, just a different format for long-term rentals. So that's, the next spinoff. And really just growing the companies I have. So continuing to grow like my commercial brokerage business, and selling and transacting more properties, continuing to pick up more short-term rentals, either to buy for myself or to manage for clients. And same thing with the boutique hotels. That's honestly, I think, my favorite component of my business right now is the boutique hotel, Surrey Beach House. So we want to pick up more of those, because it's combined so many aspects. Like, I love hospitality. That's what my degree is in. I'm in hospitality management, business administration, right? Love short-term rentals. I love real estate. I love hospitality, and it all kind of converges into a hotel. So picking up more of those and scaling and growing the hotel business, not just locally, but ultimately growing like regionally and beyond is the goal. And building a business that I can, step away from, and it runs itself, and it's, in multiple markets and multiple areas, and it just keep on going. So that's the goal, and keep doing that until I get there.
Yeah, wonderful, wonderful vision. So the last question we have before we end this interview, you demonstrate a model of success. You're profitable. You're maintaining that work-life balance that everyone seeks. you're talking to aspiring entrepreneurs, what would be your number one point of advice that you would give them?
Something that I wish I give myself advice on is have some patience. Stick with it. If you're confident what you're doing is the right thing, it will work out. Like particularly in real estate, it doesn't happen overnight, or really any business starting. The success doesn't come overnight, and it's also not a fixed position. So having the patience to get where you want to go, and then having the foresight to continue planning of what's next. Because once you get it down this path, there is no end necessarily. So figuring out what you want to do, and continue to set goals and milestones for yourself, and having the patience and the grit to get there.
Fantastic. Great words of wisdom, my friend. Hey, John, thank you so much for your time today. It was great hearing about your business and hearing more about your entrepreneurial journey. So, how can people get in touch with you, get some more information on the services you provide?
Yeah, thanks, Jerry. Easiest way is, like I said, through my main business, Heightened Hospitality. The website's heightenedhospitality.com. And my cell phone, I'll give you my personal cell, 609-412-8690.
Great.
Thank you. Appreciate the
Thank,
opportunity.
yeah, it was a pleasure chatting with you for sure. And to everyone watching, this is Jerry Cavella for From Dreams to Reality. And I look forward to seeing you in our next episode. Have a good day, everyone.